Think about the best version of yourself. Not a fantasy, not some airbrushed, perfect Instagram version. I mean the real one, the one who shows up even when it's hard, the one who keeps promises to themselves, the one who doesn't quit when it gets uncomfortable, the one you catch glimpses of sometimes, at your best moments, your most focused hours, your proudest days. You've seen that person before. You know they exist. And deep down, you know exactly what they're capable of. Here's what I need you to understand today. That version of you isn't somewhere in the future. It's not waiting on the other side of some major life event. It's not locked behind a certain salary, a certain relationship, or a certain number on a scale. That version of you is already in there, right now, today. And everything comes down to whether you choose to let them out. Welcome to Motivation Daily. Let's get into it. Here's the biggest lie we tell ourselves. We say, when things get better, I'll become better. When I have more money, I'll be more disciplined. When I have more time, I'll start working on my goals. When life settles down, I'll finally show up the way I know I can. But that's backwards. That has always been backwards. You don't wait for the conditions to change and then rise to meet them. You rise first, and the conditions follow. The discipline comes before the results. The identity comes before the achievement. The decision to become that person comes long before the world sees any evidence of it. Think about every person you've ever admired. Every person who built something real, who transformed their life, who became someone worth becoming. Do you think they woke up one day and the circumstances were just right? Do you think the universe cleared a perfect path and handed them a sign that said, now is your time? No, they decided. In the mess, in the uncertainty, in the middle of a life that wasn't working, they made a decision about who they were going to be. And then they started acting like that person before they felt like that person, before anyone else believed it, before there was a single shred of evidence that it would work. That is the move. That has always been the move. So let's talk about you. Right now, today, there is a gap between who you are being and who you are capable of being. And you feel that gap. That's actually why you're here. That restlessness, that low hum of knowing there's more. That's not weakness. That's your best self knocking on the door from the inside, telling you it's time. The question isn't whether that version of you exists. It does. The question is what's keeping you from becoming it. For most people, it comes down to three things: fear, habit, and identity. Fear is the obvious one. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of trying your hardest and still coming up short. But here's the thing about fear. It doesn't go away when you become successful. It goes away when you decide that moving forward matters more than staying comfortable. Every person living the life you want is afraid of something. They just stopped letting the fear make the decisions.
Habit is the silent one. Most of what we do every single day isn't a choice. It's automatic. The way you spend your mornings, the way you talk to yourself when something goes wrong, the way you respond to difficulty. If those habits are pulling you toward the person you want to be, incredible. But if they're not, and for most of us, some of them aren't, then changing your life isn't about motivation. It's about rewiring the automatic. One small behavior at a time, repeated until it becomes who you are. And then there's identity. This is the deepest one, because a lot of us are still operating from a story we were handed years ago. Maybe someone told you that you weren't smart enough, or driven enough, or the type of person things worked out for. And somewhere along the way, you started to believe it. You started to act like it was true. And now that belief is running your life on autopilot without you even noticing. But here's the truth. You are not your past. You are not the worst thing that happened to you. You are not the labels people put on you when you were too young to argue back. You are not even who you were last year. You are who you decide to be, starting right now. So here's what I want you to do today. I want you to get specific, not vague, specific. Who is the version of you that wins? What do they do in the morning? How do they handle pressure? What do they say yes to? And more importantly,
What do they say no to? How do they treat their body, their time, their relationships? Write it down if you have to. Get a picture of that person so clear in your mind that you could describe them to a stranger. Because the moment you can see them clearly, truly clearly, you can start making choices that close the gap between who you are today and who that person is. Not tomorrow, not after the new year, not when things calm down. Today, this hour, the next decision you make. Because that version of you, the one that wins, the one that shows up, the one that builds something real, they're not a dream. They are the most honest, most natural version of who you already are, underneath the fear, underneath the old stories, underneath all the years of playing it safe. They are in there, and they are ready. The only question left is whether you are. If this spoke to you, share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Subscribe to Motivation Daily and come back tomorrow because we're just getting warmed up. Drop a comment and tell me who is the version of you that wins. Describe them. I read every single one. See you tomorrow. Keep going.